What up, gang? Bearded Bros Golf Show back at it again. I am Rod.
Marcus.
And as the corniest of the group, I am Michael.
Yeah, we're still waiting on Michael's emoji, whatever. He's just out here hanging out as a unofficial, hanger on. I had to think of a band reference for somebody like Michael, like not quite Frankie Beverly and Maze, but something like that. How was y'all's
So,
week? Did y'all get any golf in? How's the weather in Houston right now?
Lovely.
yeah, the weather's
Very
good.
lovely.
We're getting an actual Houston winter right now, so it's like
Yes.
mid 60s to low 70s. Couple of breezy days, no rain in sight. Well, we might get some rain this weekend, but who knows if it actually comes to fruition. But I mean, I think we got some golf in. I wouldn't call it golf the round we played together, but
Oh,
we
It was just bad,
oh
bad.
man.
slums,
Oh
slums.
man. That was arguably that is probably the
sometimes it,
worst we've both played.
sometimes it be like that, right?
Oh man, it was torture.
Well, I'm happy to get rid of my. I didn't get to play last week, but self consciously, I have all my teeth this week. If y'all caught the Zoom in last week,
Yes.
your boy
Yes.
was
Yes.
looking like a. I was looking like a Bama, so I'm back to normal. So yeah, I'm looking forward to talking with no self consciousness this week and enjoying the
Yes.
show. Let's get into it. I want to give Marcus his flowers. This was a story that we kind of missed on the other week, and Marcus was like, "Man, we didn't bring it up." So again, we're gonna give this man his flowers. We talked about it a couple weeks ago that WTGL was announced, the ladies' version of TGL, but right off the bat, Marcus said the miss was that they are not partnering up with the men, at least not that we know of right now. And so Nelly Korda came out, said the same thing, that she's cautiously optimistic about it, but feels like not immediately planning to have the men and women play together was a problem. So shout out to Marcus, and mom coming in here,
Oh, already.
No,
slick dissing. Okay, yeah.
that's light from
Um, so yeah, good on you, Marcus. Just a little bit of background. Why did you think that was a miss, or why did you think that was important, or do you think it's important that the men and women combine on this TGL venture?
Yeah, I mean, I think the most important thing is as we continue to grow the game authentically and organically and in the right ways, I feel like getting the eyes of both men and women on elite golfers at the same time is going to do nothing but create bonds between couples as they both get into the game. You already know how it goes. Sometimes it's a little bit of a venture for y'all to get y'all spouses out. I know how it is. I mean, I'm single, so I don't know how it is, but I can relate from what you guys have gone through. But that's just another way to get everybody involved. If the ladies are on the same forefront and on the biggest stage as the men, what is stopping the ladies from doing the same thing and growing the game alongside the men? So that was really my critique. And thankfully somebody that's really prevalent in the game understands and thinks the same way I do.
Absolutely. Um, Mike, do you want to reiterate any thoughts that you had on the men and women playing together in TGL? Do you think it's necessary? Do you care one way or another?
Of course I do. I mean, yeah, it'd be really nice to see the men and women teed up, instead of on just those couple events that they play. But I mean, I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate. I guess, yeah, some people see it as a major miss, but also can we see if this, also can we see if this product can be on its own? Like would people tune in to just the women and just the men? And I think, yeah, they
Mm.
realize that they're missed this year. And of course, hopefully next year that they're just kind of do away with just having two separate leagues and then just make it one. I was kind of looking at this Instagram post and reading some of the comments, and they were saying, well, the grass league did it, so it's not like something revolutionary. But it's a big difference coming from, let's say, high level AMs that are even pros that play in the grass league to more prominent people that are on tour, both LPGA and PGA Tour. Um, so I mean, let's just see how it plays out for the ladies this year and viewership. And then if they're just like, yeah, we need to listen to these guys and incorporate a men's and women's combination, then perfect. But if the ladies thrive on their own, we can always have like certain days where they'll play together or play against each other. So,
Yeah, I mean, there's
But
always
I
yeah,
opportunities for like
first, yeah,
special edition
absolutely.
episodes and stuff, but I think it just would have been smarter to start as a conglomerate
Yeah, oh,
and
no,
then
yeah,
split off
yeah,
this if it is it's successful.
right.
Like, oh my God, we got enough ladies teams to create their own thing. Let's branch off and do that.
hmm No, and I
yeah,
completely
and
understand it.
I think Marcus's thought was that you add the ladies to the men's teams, like take the existing teams, add a woman or two to the actual team, which would have been interesting. I don't know, but it's also, I think, them having their own league is a way for them to have equity and team ownership around each team. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. I think there's a number of different ways to do it, and we'll figure it out. I think it'll be a long season. I did see a second story regarding the ratings for TGL, and I want to say, I forget what it was, another league that are down this year. And I don't know. I just think there's a lot going on in the world right now, and so people's attention is divided. It's not necessarily appointment viewing. I know for me, like I'll use the Super Bowl as an example. I'm on a different time zone. But I made the effort. I was like, okay, I'm going to watch the Super Bowl, get my ass to bed, wake up for the Super Bowl to be able to watch it live. TGL comes on around a similar time frame and window, but it has not been appointment viewing for me. So I don't really catch it. I'll have to look for a replay or something whenever they do that. But
Yeah.
otherwise, it's just, I don't know. Again, it's just not appointment viewing. It's bounced back and forth. I think now that football's over, it's going to be strictly on Mondays. We'll see. I mean, but
Yeah.
ratings are down compared to last year, and I don't necessarily think that the product is any worse. It's just
Yeah.
that there's a lot of things getting people's attention these days.
Yeah. Two things real quick before we move on. I was referring to women's teams completely on their own. So like having like like a Dallas team, all of women, like, everybody that's coming out of that's playing and stationed in Dallas or like Florida or like a Scottsdale team, and then having their own standalone 4 woman team. So that's what I was saying, competing at their own yardages, very similar to the men, but
Mm.
they'll still be teeing off and having their own team, same shot clock, same hammer, same thing like that. And then I think ratings being down is kind of connected to the spat that people are having with ESPN, as Michael was mentioning earlier in the season. ESPN is doing some janky shit right now. Unfortunately, they're being real grimy. I mean, you got to call it like it
Literally,
is. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
they're doing
literally.
ESPN Select. They're doing the ESPN Plus. So like all of these are separate subscriptions that you have to pay and subscribe
Right.
to, and ain't nobody trying to drop bread on that every month just to get this certain. So like if you're streaming TGL, then of course, like I'm not gonna go out of my way now to find it. But if I have like the cable that I know it's gonna be on ESPN2 at 6, yeah, I'm gonna tune in. But I'm not gonna go out of my way
Mm.
now that ESPN is being weird like this on the streaming side of things. I think that's kind of
Yeah.
combined with what's going on with the ratings. But that's I'll keep my tone kind of neutral. I'll try not to get too animated today.
No, no, no. I think that is the problem. We've talked about cable deals and um, how cable is a dying model, and it just feels like this is like one of those last gasps to what's extract dollars from the user. So I get the frustration, 100%. All right, let's keep it moving. Also on the LPGA, since we don't have them for a couple of weeks now, I did want to follow up on their Tournament of Champions as well. It just hadn't really caught fire when we spoke about it last week, but we have Craig Kessler, who is catching some fire for their kind of premature ending of their Tournament of Champions, the lead into their season. Just came out and said there were a number of different ways that they probably could have handled the situation. They called it on Sunday, like wrapped up the third round, and then handed Nelly Korda the trophy, and then they got the hell out of there. I mean, the way I was kind of reading the breakdown, the way that the temperatures went on Sunday, they could have gotten out later on in the day, had a full tournament. Came back on Monday, especially given that they were going to be off for several weeks. Um, Travel would have been fine for people to leave a day later, and had a completed tournament. So it was a bit of a mistake on his end. Appreciate him taking responsibility for making that call. I had shot Marcus a blurb I saw from a golfer. God, what was her name? She hadn't been
Danielle
playing in a
Kang.
while, but Danielle came and just like, dang, what's going on? But clearly, that criticism was warranted. Um, but again, I think we've seen good things from Craig Kessler leading into the season, and this is a continuation. Just taking responsibility right off the bat, couple of days into the controversy, not punting it, not putting it on somebody else. What do you think about this about face, Michael?
I think he did a really great job of just kind of owning it. This is his first year being the commissioner of the LPGA, so of course there are some growing pains where has Kessler been in like has he managed the league before? Just to like a open question.
He was pretty high up in the PGA of America prior to taking this role.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's two different leagues, at two different levels. But I think he did a really like I said he did a really great job of taking ownership and just now after the fact when after net the tournament technically ended he's like yeah you're right we could have gone to Monday or we could have just gone out later. I think Annika Sorenstam said well if we're playing 9 we can play another 9 or it got to a temperature where conditions were playable. But I think that he's
Right.
going to take this as a lesson and move on and really kind of adapt better. So like we always said, he really put these ladies first, and it just shows that he cares and wants to just make the LPGA bigger than it is now.
No doubt. What you got, Marcus?
I think that, just to piggyback off of both of y'all, I think the most important thing that he mentioned in his statement was transparency and clear communication going forward. I think not everybody was kind of on the same page, of course, as we saw. Not everybody was in the know. I think even if you're doing this as a one man show or with a committee, I think the most important thing is making sure that there is a blast out, that everybody knows what's going on so that they have an opportunity to react and, maybe come back and kind of rebut on the situation or, kind of share how they feel from their perspective. So I think it was just kind of funny to me. Like, again, as we grow the game, there's going to be casuals. There's going to be weird angles of all of these different things going on in these transgressions, and it was just funny because they came out with it with the close and let everybody know what was happening and that Nelly was a winner. There was hella comments talking about They did this because Nelly was winning. If Nelly was losing, they would have they would have found a way to play the fourth round. If Amy Yang was winning, instead, vice versa, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, listen, Nelly Korda didn't win at all last season. There was no way of them perpetrating wins or finagling her to get up on the board to get these wins. She played the best golf
Right.
in the worst weather and shot the lowest round of the tournament. What are we even talking about, bro? Like, so that really had me hot. Secondly, there was people. I mean, in like a more informed comment, there. I
I
thought,
know. We always talk about people that don't know anything chiming in
right.
to
What
topics. Yeah.
what made more sense to me was that although the LPGA is growing, and I think we might have talked about this off screen and in our text rod, but I think that what made more sense is that although the LPGA is growing and kind of has some more dispensable money, do they always have these contracts in tow to where they are ready to expense for an extra day? Remember, this is at Lake Nona Country Club. This is a pretty prestigious Florida club, and it's also a resort course. So, did they have the realms to have the event for another day, or was it already scheduled for maintenance
I
to get back
I'm
ready
pretty.
for tourists? Go
I
ahead.
would definitely say that I would definitely say that every professional event probably has a contingency in their agreements that if weather extends the tournament beyond what they scheduled it for, that they have some leeway on the other side. So I mean, weather is a part of golf, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah, but
I
I
would
mean,
say
do
that
they
that's
think that Florida's going to get a cold front and be in the 20s to start on the day?
yeah,
Do you
because
think you're ever going to?
this is not the first time. This is not the first time that this tournament has been maybe not this cold, but they're out there in long sleeves every year. So I think
Yeah,
it's
but not
part.
delayed and
I
not in
don't
the
know,
20s with potential
but we're
snow.
talking contractually. We're talking contractually though. They've been doing this long enough where they are gonna have this in a contract. So from that perspective, that's all I'm talking about. Is that is probably in these contracts to be able to extend. That's all I'm saying.
I guess I don't necessarily believe that.
All right. Well, we'll see when the ladies come back. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, we said the scheduling has been weird. Um, these big gaps for the LPGA are kind of annoying, but we'll see them what next week in Asia.
2 weeks, still 2 weeks. It's the
2 weeks.
22nd or something like that.
It's ridiculous. But let's keep it moving. We got our boy Patrick Reed. He loves this pose with the big trophy over in the uh, the Middle East. He loves the knee down, smiling, but getting used to it. Second win in 3 weeks and three starts. Was in a playoff in between there, so has had a chance to win all to start the DP World Tour season. Said he's going to be over there full time all year. Essentially, with this win, has pretty much secured his spot for a full time ticket back to the PGA Tour next year. Will not necessarily, if he doesn't want to, use an exemption like the previous winner. He can save that for another time, like VJ or something like that. But looking good. I mean, the game just looks solid, looks to be comfortable. Something to prove as it appears as he's left live. What'd you think of Patrick P. Reed getting 2 wins in 3 weeks, Marcus?
Um, I mean, I saw Sunday morning. I kind of saw the maybe like I don't know. I saw a good bit of the front nine, and it looked kind of scraggly at first.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like the gas was kind of running a little bit low, but then he kicked it into gear, on that back nine and came and stormed back to shoot a 2 under round, which is when you're leading by two to start, and then it's final day. A lot of people are going to be pressing, so anything under par is always going to be a good stance against the fight that you're going to go against. You can't go even, can't go one over. You got to go somewhere under par, and he
Yeah.
managed to do that. So I think that's good on him, and I mean, like I said, the dude has something to prove, and I think with this second win in 3 weeks, I think the sponsor dollars are going to come back now. I think he'll be able to get an apparel deal. It might be weaker. It might not. He might not be in commercials till next year, but I think sponsorship dollars with clothes will come back. I think he'll be able to, get a club deal of some sort, or at least a ball deal. I mean, he's a complete free agent. Plays his own
Right.
prototype irons and stuff like that. I sent you that post from Ted's Talks, or fully equipped,
Mhm.
vice versa, whatever. But yeah, so
Yeah.
like I said, he's doing really good for his contrarian beliefs. So we're gonna see how far it goes.
Yeah, Mike, what do you think about the run that Pat Reed is on right now?
It's good. I mean, it's good to see him playing good golf again. It kind of, to win two tournaments in three starts is a feat in itself. So congratulations to him. Really playing some really good golf. Like Marcus said, really in that front nine, it was a little scraggly. Even he admitted himself that, he got off to a slow start and then ended up losing the lead and was fine, able to find that gear to, get back into the lead and hold it. Um, so I think he's really finding something that's working, and um, I would say he could give Rory a run for his money on the like the race to Dubai.
They're
Um,
right. I was
yeah,
thinking the exact same thing. Like
yeah,
that has been pretty much unchallenged for years now.
yeah. And for P. Reed to come out like this, I'm not saying that he's gonna win every week or like every other week, but he's off to a really hot start, and let's see if he can take that into majors. And it's not just something that he can do on the DP World Tour, as well as you know, let me paint a little picture for you. He's doing so well in the DP World Tour that let's say after the Masters, they're like, "Hey, we're gonna extend this opportunity for you to come back on the PGA Tour, and you can
No,
still hold." Okay, like so, I just said I'm gonna paint a picture. It's not real, Doctor Negative.
they don't like P. Reed enough. I said
Okay,
the same thing.
but I'm just saying.
He said,
Let's
Doctor
just
Negative.
yeah, let's just paint that picture for a little bit. It's not a like, oh, this could happen. It's just like a extreme hypothetical. But he seems to be playing really well in Europe. And like I said, I hope he can carry that into majors and compete and be higher up on the leaderboard. It looks like he is with Under Armour right now. Well, he had to take all that 4 Aces stuff off. But
Yeah, I don't know if that
yeah,
was a personal choice or he was actually
I was
getting
about to say that
sponsorship
just
dollars.
yeah, that might just be what he likes.
probably. But
Right.
yeah,
Right.
but
It
I mean,
didn't look it looked like he kind of ragtagged it. Went to
yeah,
a a sporting goods store and picked up
true.
what fits his body.
I guess he just didn't like the Nike anymore and just like, all right, peace.
A lot of folks don't necessarily love the athletic fit of the Nike
Nike.
gear. So
Yeah.
who who knows? But I don't know. Like I agree. I would love to not the way he's playing. Um, I think it's good for the DP World Tour to have somebody playing this well. We've talked about it's pretty much been a feeder system back into the PGA Tour, which I think is still going to be that. But having someone to tune in to watch every single week, I think it's a good thing, right? Marcus's opinion last week, or just us talking about having a contrarian in your league, even though he does seem to be playing nice in the sandbox these days, not as
Yeah.
controversial. Saw him kind of reading people's tweets about his win after this past week. Just seemed to be in good spirits, right? growing up. I mean, he is 35 at this point. So you hope people mature as they get older. But just having somebody who is competitive on the PGA Tour is going to help next year, right? Which we're going to talk a little bit about that when we swing over to our PGA Tour coverage for the week. Not just having Scotty as your best player, Farn, but having people that can actually challenge him, I think is good for the league. And P. Reed's going to bring that to the table if he can keep this pace up. I mean, what do y'all think? Over under 5 wins on the DP World Tour for Pat Reed this year?
Over.
Under.
I got over.
Okay, I think he can get to 5. I think if this is his full time schedule, he plays a lot of golf. He tees it up quite a bit. Um, I think just from a talent level, I think he's one of the most talented golfers on the DP World Tour, easily at 35 years old. Um, Championship pedigree, so I'm going 5. Cool beans. Let's swing over to the PGA Tour before we get into the Waste Management Phoenix Open. I do want to talk about a controversial topic that came up this week about the players. So we have Brandel Chamblee chiming in, on his opinion regarding the Masters. Let me get my screen up, but it says the players to me stands alone above the other 4 major championships as not just a major. It is, in my estimation, the best major. So I am not as much of a Brandel Chamblee hater as most people are, but I disagree. This is like way off the deep end. Clearly, we know it's not a major, but it's weird that the PGA Tour, and I'm going to bring the video up, how they put that out there. This is a screenshot when it says March is going to be major. And here we have Phil Mickelson, forever the contrarian. Almost makes me want to agree with Chamblee. I've won it. It's not. Let me play the video, and then when we come back, we'll get y'all's opinions on this, okay? So, what I was thinking, and their push for this, or just like promoting it, is that the players typically has provided a lot of drama. There's a lot of drama in the tournament. We saw a playoff last year between Rory and JJ Spawn. Usually comes down to the final hole in some shape, form, or fashion. So it's just again a way to create hype. Is it a major? No. If y'all are going to consider it a major, get with the RNA and make it happen. Like, stop playing games around it. But Mike, what do you think about this? Michael Kim, also a PGA Tour player, said that he could consider it a major. He was a little more measured in his approach. What are your thoughts on it?
Um, I can see it as a major. Actually, better yet, I would agree that it's the major that's not a major. Um, like you said, it's pressure packed. It always comes down to the wire. Um, Arguably one of the toughest courses on tour, TPC Sawgrass. Um, Even when I was younger, I thought it was a major, and people were like, "Oh no, no, it's not a major," and it's like, "Well, it should be." Um, but for Phil to come out and blatantly say, "I've won it," it's not. Well, then that's why. Then the Masters is not a major since you won it. All your major championships, whatever. There's also the guy who's missing a U.S. Open. So, um, but I do regard it as a major in my heart. And I just think it should be a major, make it 5. But also, if you think about
Just
it, does that change the Grand Slam? Does that change all these like things that we consider? like records, you know. So I don't know. There is a yin and a yang to it, but in my opinion, I like to consider it as a major. I wouldn't say it's the best major, but it is, in my opinion, a major.
Yeah, Marcus, what do you think, bro?
Not a major. I definitely understand why people hold it in high regard. I feel like this is probably the most elite shot makers course, and it's a course we see every year. So you're able to see a lot of different winners, and I think that also branches out why it could be labeled a major. I mean, we've seen everybody from the greatest to a guy like Tim Clark who hits it 265 off the tee, able to win this. So you just never know who's going to have their best stuff. But I mean, it tests every aspect of your game. There's tight lies, there's crazy rough, there's pine straw, there's heavily wooded courses, there's wide open holes. 18 is, it really 16, 17, 18 might be one of the, toughest closing
Right,
stretches holes just because of the pressure that 16 is a par five, but easily reachable if you hit a perfect tee shot. But you have to pull off the tee shot. You got to be able to hit a draw, or you got to be able to hit a high fade, put yourself in a good angle. 17, you have to be able to commit to the gap wedge or 9-iron or pitching wedge that you're going to hit and trust that the wind is going to be correct when you hit the ball. 18, you have to be able to hit a very good tee shot and take on the water, or else you're going to be fighting from the trees, chipping out, trying to save
right.
par. So when it comes down to the stretch, like you said, with all the cinema that's going on, that just adds to it. So I get why people would like to label it a major. I get why it holds its own esteem above even elevated events or WGCs back in the day. But unfortunately, Insider Trader is correct in this. I don't see it as a major,
It's unfortunate.
but
Yeah,
you never like. It's one of those guys that if he's agreeing with you, did I really say something right? It's one of those situations.
right. Like, am I getting something wrong somewhere? I dig it.
Let's
I don't know.
rethink all of this.
I feel like it sits in its proper spot, right? It's an elevated event. It
Yeah,
is kind of kicks the season off before we get to the Masters. I do think I don't know, like the weather can be a little bit dodgy. We saw the really cold version of it a couple of years ago. Don't love that part of it, right? You just can't depend on Florida to be warm every part of the year. So,
yeah,
there has been some criticism versus having it in kind of what was it, Mother's Day before, um,
yeah.
with all the pink. So it was
With the
later
pink,
on in the year. Yeah, so I don't know about that one. The time of the year is strange, but it does signal like, hey, we're getting serious about golf. Um, but I don't know. This year feels very special so far. Um, we're about to hit an elevated event this week with the Pebble Beach. So we're getting important golf very early in the year. It feels like we didn't need a big warm up, right? We missed the Tournament of Champions because of the course situation in Kapalua, but the season has not disappointed so far. So
Hmm.
let's get into this week's result.
Well, all
West
right,
Management Phoenix Open. Go
hold on,
ahead.
before you do that. In okay. So, well, Marcus said like there's like pine straw and all that stuff. Like, it kind of sounds like you're also describing the Masters. Because I mean, different course setup, true, but same element. You see it every year. It is the Masters is considered a major. The Players is not. I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to change your opinion, but I just kind of want to get y'all's perspective. If you were to rank the Players higher than one of the four majors, which major would it be? And then also, you guys in the comments, how would you rank the Players compared to the four other majors?
Um,
it,
I'll say this is very much the same opinion I had a couple weeks ago on something. If anything, I would take it over the PGA Championship just because I haven't always loved the courses that they've selected for the PGA Championship. They're not random, but it's not on a rotation. And so you can have some stuff that you're kind of like, I could have skipped that one. So that would be the one that I think it could compete against just because we are seeing the same course every single year. But US Open's goated. Augusta National is just special. We all know that. And the open rotation is also very much goaded. So I would say the PGA Championship is the only one that I would consider it even getting close to. But like I said, I think it's in its right spot. What do you think, Marcus?
Yeah, I'm not changing. I mean, I think it's the fifth major, if any, but I don't see it becoming a major. Um, as a guy that's trying to make it into the PGA of America program, I don't see it taking over those spots as those guys have fought through regional and super regional and then got into the player professionals championship just to have an opportunity to get into the PGA. I think that holds its own separate importance in the game of golf, especially stateside. But I mean that goes abroad as well, as there are PGA programs everywhere in the world. So I like I said, I'm not taking anything away from the players and TPC Sawgrass. I really enjoy that course and how it portrays itself. But would I hold it in the same likes of any of the four majors? No.
Yeah, I think I like your comparison though on the course setup. I think it's good prep for the Masters, right? Because we have the what Houston
The Houston
Open
Open the
before,
week. Yeah,
right
that's
before.
like.
So that's which is a more wide open course, right? It's flat.
Mhm.
You're not getting the elevation changes that you'd get at Augusta, which you don't necessarily want
Right.
a hard walk the week before a major championship. So um, yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I mean, ultimately, I think it comes down to just the PGA Tour creating some hype around the event, which is cool, right? Um, Marketing is fine. It's just interesting that it comes from them. It makes Brandel Chamblee look like a industry plant promoting that kind of stuff, but it is what it is. Um, Transitioning over to this past weekend, Chris Gotterup, man. Two between him and Patrick Reed, they have 6 starts on their respective tours and 4 wins at this point. He had a good feeling going in, after he finished his round, went into the clubhouse as the leader, or the leader in the clubhouse, I should say, and then waited on the uh, the drama at 18. Matsuyama had a rough Sunday, bro. Hit like 3 fairways the entire day. Looked really squirrely with the driver. 18 in regulation, put it in the church pews, then thins a wedge, hitting the church pew. The nerves definitely just didn't have the game. I don't want to say it was nerves, but just didn't have the game all day. It wasn't like, hey, got down to 18 and struggled. He just wasn't hitting the ball well off the tee. They get into the playoff. Matsuyama pulls it left after having to back away from his first attempt at drive. Some noise in the crowd. Um, Puts it in the water. I think it ricocheted off of a pole. Takes a drop, puts it on the green for a chance to get a par. But Gotterup stepped up, hit a booming drive. I mean, crazy over the bunker, put himself, in a really good spot with a wedge in hand, and then drains the putt down the hill. So, clutched up, got a second victory of the year. There's just something about his length and being straight enough to take advantage of that length that I don't think this is a flash in the pan whatsoever, right? Wins at YLI, which is not necessarily a bomber's course. He was able to cut a lot of corners, but you have to play for position as well. So winning on two different types of setups. What do you think about Gotterup? And like I said, I like the ability for someone to compete with Scotty Scheffler, which Scotty had a top three finish. Um,
Yep.
so still there. You know what I mean? But what do you think, Marcus?
Yeah, a couple different things. I felt like one, I felt like if anybody was going to be able to stand up and not really be afraid of what Scotty was doing, even though he was lurking pretty hard all weekend, I felt like Hideki was going to be the person that wasn't really going to be affected by Scotty approaching from behind. Pause. But like, ended up being like some weird situations with Hideki. Again, as we talk about growing the game, please grow the game the correct way. There's just so much BS going on with the fanfare this year. A lot more dialed in as far as the drinking went, but still weird fans, still new fans, still fans that don't understand the etiquette of golf with that much money on the line, with that much importance on each shot going on. It just kind of really agged me. So I didn't really feel like just going down the stretch, no disrespect to Chris Gotterup because he absolutely went out there, set a number, and you had to go out there and make sure that you were at least covering that. But I don't think Hideki got a fair fight down the stretch, having to pull off his shots as many times as he did because of the background noise. But to get to Gotterup, um, when you have a homemade swing as good and dialed in as he has, with as much forward shaft lean and torque that he has on that thing, it is
Mm-hmm.
an immense advantage because when you get into windy days, like in the Open last year, when you saw him really coming out to play and kind of emerging as one of those guys, you saw it. He had the wind beater down pat. Like it was never a question of what his ball was going to do, if it was going to be in play. It was always in play. It was always lengthy, and it was with carry and rollout. It wasn't like he was just hitting these
And,
scalded dogs.
no, and he's hitting the
He getting
fade
roll
too.
exactly. He's getting carry plus rollout on this. So the distance is there. And then he can get the ball up in the air if need be to cover those corners like he did in Hawaii. So yeah, I don't think he's gonna be slowing down. I think he's to me, not even again, not to sound like a hater, I don't think he's gonna get into that 4 or 5, like that 5+ win in a season type ball game. But I think he has another win or two in the season for him. I absolutely think he can carry this on and carry this momentum on for sure.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think about Gotterup's game and potential for this season as a bit of a foil for Scotty and sometimes Rory?
No, I think what Marcus said is very true. He is on a really good run. I don't, like you mentioned, Rod, I don't see this as like oh, this is he's gonna win twice and then just kind of disappear off or like, right off into the sunset. I think he is doing things really well with his swing and with his game that he's able to compete at a very high level. Um, I mean, I thought Hideki was going to win. He looked good. He was attacking pins, I'd say Thursday through Friday. It was just that Sunday he got a little squirrely. Um, but I mean, I genuinely thought Scotty was going to at least make the playoff or, he did give it a tremendous run starting what, 2 over for the on Thursday. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah, damn near missed the cut.
right, absolutely. And to come back and to almost win the tournament is scary in itself. But let's not discontinue or like forget what Gotterup also did. I mean, he put up a very perfect round to get into the playoff, and then you know, unfortunately Hideki just couldn't close the door. But I do think Hideki will win this year. He does have the game for it. I think so. And then we also saw Michael Thorne Bjornsson play fantastically on, fighting for his first tournament, as well as like another guy who is on the rise up, Pearson Coody. So we started to see some of the more of the younger guys really show their talents this week. Um, so, I mean, congratulations to Chris Gotterup.
And I also don't want to skip past Siwoo Kim, although has not been
Yeah,
able to capture a
so
win, has been playing
and
really good golf this year.
and Ryu played really well this week too. I
Yeah,
forget
back
how to
to he
say.
put back to back week together. Hits a Sunni.
Yeah. Um,
So
you
yeah,
know,
at the top of I didn't even mention this when we were talking DP World Tour. At the top of both tours right now, you have a handful of guys that are playing really consistent golf. Even Callum Hill was in the mix on the DP World Tour with Patrick Reed. I think he ended up T2. So there's a couple just between both tours, guys that are locked in, which is cool. I mean, we always want some names that we can attach to the top of leaderboards and that are playing consistent golf and separating themselves. So yeah, there's some really good golf being played right now, which I think has made the season. It's not just like last year with the LPGA, not being able to grab or latch on. I mean, Gino really good, right? But she wasn't winning consistently. Had
Yeah.
chances, let those chances slip by. So it's good to have. To me, I always like some consistency. I want to see somebody mentally lock in and get their game together, and start, you know, you know, setting a path for themselves. So I've appreciated this early part of the season because of that. Any other thoughts on the tournament itself? Well, I have a next story about the tournament.
mhm.
Marcus kind of alluded to it, but any other thoughts on the play itself?
No,
No, I
it
mean,
was good.
ye-
Really
great
good.
conditions like it was again. Less than a club win, low 70s. I mean, me and Rod went out to Scottsdale, Phoenix. Maricopa. I'll shoot, coming up on a decade ago now. He's been back a little bit
Which
more
is
recent than
crazy.
me. Crazy to even say, but I don't know, man. There's just something about desert golf, bro. It's one of my favorite adventures. It really paints the picture of where you need to hit the ball. But yet, you know, for these pros, they can get new replacement clubs and stuff like that. So them hitting shots out of that ground sand and with the rocks and stuff like that and pulling shots out of the kazoo. Like I really feel like it's just a dope scene every time they come out to Arizona and South Carolina, California, to play some desert golf. So yeah, it was dope to see.
It is. It is always fun. It's probably my favorite type of golf. Um, if you end up off the beaten path, you never know what kind of bounce you're going to get. I
Right.
think we played in Vegas. Kind of the same similar setup. I hit a ball that was just off the fairway. I ended up like 30 yards right of where I hit the ball because I think it hit off of a rock and it was wild. So desert golf is definitely an adventure. Um, Last story from the Waste Management Phoenix Open. We've talked about it before. I have several videos up on the channel from in the past, just talking about fan behavior, the partying, the drinking, throwing bottles and cans at players, and becoming almost a dangerous situation on 16. Haven't loved that, but this is the environment that event has fostered. It's particularly going into the Super Bowl. It's a party weekend. Don't let the damn Super Bowl be in Arizona that year. It is even an even wilder scene as we saw a couple of years ago. People just partying their ass off.
Yeah.
But there was a story from a YouTuber prankster Jack Doherty. Um, Paid some fan, which I don't even think he paid a fan. I think it was somebody that was in his entourage. Um, Clearly, they have professional cameras there. I actually have it pulled up, and I was actually heartened to see that the likes and participation on his actual prank and stunt did not get that much, you know, fanfare. It was just more of people being pissed off about him doing this. Pull this bad boy up.
That's $100. I got you. Come on. That wasn't me, Strap. Right here.
Let me run it back.
Jack, get up! Kidding me? That's $100. I got you. Come on. That wasn't me, Strap. Right here. That was him. Get him out of here. She's telling you. We gotta roll. We gotta go. Okay. You know it was against the law. I didn't do anything. These guys both do this all the time. They're on YouTube. Get them out of here. Get them out here. Ban them from the PGA Tour. Yeah, but I didn't ban them. No, ban this one. Get them out of here. Look, that's right there. PGA. I didn't do anything. Shut up. All right, let's go. I get it. I didn't even say anything. I'm getting kicked out of the guy. Someone actually said something. Oh, sorry about that, sir. What up? All right, $1,000 hand on stake.us, baby. And boom, just like that, we won $1,000. Let's go. Use code Jack on stake.us.
So yeah, quite a few things about the scene itself that stand out. One, he's annoying. Two, prank channels are beyond lame at this point. The guy that's behind the scene is a security guard, who whispers in the ear of the on-site security as well. He's wearing a Rode microphone on his chest, clearly all manufactured, but as you can see, affecting a player in mid backswing. So I don't know, man. This is, again, we had a streaker a few years ago. What do y'all think, man? What do you think about the Waste Management Phoenix Open? Mike, I know Marcus's opinion. He's talked about this several times, but what do you think about this situation in general?
Sucks. Gives more reason that people think that my generation is cooked. Literally. I mean, good grief. I mean, there's another video of him like where they say I'm like, hey, you're banned from the tour, like showing up to a tour event forever. And he goes,
Right.
people my age just really don't give a fuck about golf. And I was like, you are such an idiot, dude.
He is an
Um,
idiot.
I
I didn't
mean,
even mention the gambling angle. I didn't even mention the
oh
fact that it
man.
was like a sponsored post. Clearly.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair,
Um,
like, so all those streamers do, like, they'll go on those gambling sites and be like, oh, we just hit for $1,000, so you get this now. Um, well, Jack Doherty's an idiot to start off with. I mean, he's always in something controversial, always putting himself in a position where there's always there always gonna be some friction or some fireworks that happen. Um, yeah, I mean, it sucks. I don't like it. I mean, of course,
I
Mark. I
know.
mean, I'm gonna keep it short. Marcus, take the lead.
I have one more thing to say before I pass it to Marcus. Our boy Roger Steele had made a post about it, kind of in response to that clip that you mentioned, Mike, about the him saying he was going to be banned for life. And I think Roger took it down. I went to look for it, but I swore it was on his page, and he's like, "This is a moment." Maybe it was just a comment. I don't know. Maybe it was just a comment under that video saying this is a moment to teach. I don't think he was necessarily familiar with Jack Doherty because you're not going to be able to bridge the gap with that dude. This
Um,
was a clearly a stunt, manufactured to cause drama. Doesn't matter who it harms, and that's part of his stick is that it doesn't matter who it hurts. He's got his security guard sitting right there that if anybody has ever stepped up or wanted to fight him, which that older guy looked like he wanted to slap the shit out of him, the bodyguard's right there to
right.
to step in. So just wanted to mention that. Marcus, I know you're over there heated up. I'm surprised you hadn't taken your hoodie off because you look pissed off. But what are your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, man. I'm honestly, I mean, that's the first time I saw it. All I needed to do was hear that shit had happened, and I was already pissed off. To see it, yeah, man, there's just no way there's just no reason for that to be in the game of golf. Again, I mean, this is the third time I've mentioned it in this show alone. This is a very much a shrink the game situation. Again, I mean, there's just no way to put it lightly. And then like I said, I didn't see that clip until just now. I had been avoiding it on purpose, but there's a little
I'm sorry
snippet
to
that
have
came out.
traumatized you.
There was a little snippet that came out where he said everybody's just, getting offended by everything nowadays. And I'm like, listen, bro, if this was even just 2015, bro, like the amount of flack you would have got for that, like you think like this internet rebuttal and negative comment thing is something that you think is gonna harm you. Just I don't wish anything on anybody like that, but the physical harm you would have taken for some BS like that, bro, like somebody would have got put their hands on you, bro. Like you cannot do shit like that and think it's just gonna be fine and dandy and think shit gonna slide. So that's
Yeah.
really the angle I'm going for because, like, again, it's just we need to bring shame back. We need to bring bullying back. All of that needs to make a resurgence, bro.
All right, hold on. All
Like,
right, all right, all right. But bullying is a little too far, dog.
No,
Bullying is a little too
no.
far.
I have made a TikTok post about bullying. There is there are instances where I think bullying can be appropriate. I get what you're saying off general principle, Mike, that
Okay, fair.
bullying
That's fair. Fair, fair, fair.
as a whole concept is not great. But some people need to be bullied. Some people need now, again, the thing that hardened me about the situation is Homeboy tried to post like 3 videos about this situation. The original, which is what I just pulled up, and there's 2 follow-up videos where he talked about being detained, and then another one with like a different edit on it. And the original got the most interaction, and it was only like 10,000 likes, which is not that great. And then like 1,700 comments, which I'm pretty sure he was getting flamed in the comments about his behavior. And so the days of this type of behavior being um, kind of liked in mass, I think is going away, which is good. It is really good, but I hate seeing it affect the game that we talk about and love. Um, Again, this for the professional golfers, this is their workplace. This is how they're making a living, and their performance individually makes a difference. And so for somebody to come into their workplace and yell, it's ridiculous. And I'm
Yeah.
glad there was a quick, resolution to it. DJ, I completely agree. Just like the Drewski incident and the NFL honors, there's a time and a place to make content. Being an idiot is profitable these days. It is. It has been. But thank God, again, I remember prank channels really setting YouTube on fire years ago, and we're kind of getting away from that. But anything that affects players and their performance, I hate. So, um, that's it for our golf stuff this week. Super Bowl, did y'all watch it?
Yes.
I know Marcus
unfortunately,
did. It was
Yes.
a kind of, I mean, people would say, "Oh, I love a good defensive struggle." Um, it was just kind of bad football. Like,
it was
I
bad
get it.
football.
Like,
It was
yeah,
nerdy quarterback play. Um, it was a couple of bright spots. Like as soon as Bo Nix went down, it was curtains. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, unfortunately, that's just what it is. I mean, if you relying on Jared Stidham to get you to the big dance, bro, it ain't happening. Drake May in his second year, he's still fresh up under the gills, bro. No matter how good your defense is, your QB has to at least be a game manager and a decent one at that, i.e., Trent Dilfer. A lot of people want to disrespect Trent Dilfer, but he did what he was supposed to do and didn't get his
right,
offense in trouble. You know what I'm saying? You knew who to hand the ball off to.
yeah.
You knew not to throw picks. So yeah, you can't fault him for that. But I mean, New England will be back, but do I think they'll Do I think they'll win the big dance? No. I think Houston has a legitimate chance out of the AFC now. And I think Baltimore is going to be decent going forward. Now
Yeah,
that they got
Baltimore just had an off year.
Right, they got Harbaugh out of the paint finally, so I think he'll be okay. And the NFC is always the NFC. I mean, pretty much that makes it to the big dance is going to have a chance to win it out of the NFC. It's definitely tough out there. So, yeah, I mean, all in all, I'm glad I mean, hey, listen, say what you want, but the halftime show was fire.
Yes. Anywho,
Fire.
hold on. What did
Bro.
I say last week? It was the mid bowl, and I compared Sam Darnold and Trent Dilfer, and Sam Darnold did what Trent Dilfer activities. Was I wrong? Thank you.
Hey, both of them have a ring, do they not?
Exactly. That's not bad. But I said, what did I say? It was going to be
That
the
is
mid
not
bowl.
bad.
I said it was the mid bowl, and it was.
There was
very
only
mid. Wait,
there was only one mid team.
It was very mid play from both ends in the first half, and then it got exciting in the fourth quarter. They started scoring all of a sudden.
Yeah.
But I stand by the mid bowl.
So loosen the reins.
Yes. Now.
But as Marcus mentioned, you know, I try to make it a habit in life of only talking about things that I've experienced personally. But Puerto Rico is a whole vibe. 2020, before pandemic hit, spent 3-4 days in Puerto Rico, man. That we were in the San Juan area. We ended up like trying to go get something to eat and walked into like this festival that was happening at the time. And Puerto Rico, man, and its folks are a whole damn vibe. The culture is unmatched. Just a passionate people. Unique setup, you know, territory of the U.S. And, you know, you can have your ideas and thoughts on if they should be part of the U.S. or not, but it's very unique. And so Bad Bunny definitely represented with the imagery. The production was off the chain, and kind of when he was showing the sugarcane fields and even the electricity grid failing, you know, it was cool, you know, because it really just, you know, showed parts of Puerto Rico that if you know, you know. I love the art. I love seeing people, you know, represent where they're from fully, and you know, say what you want. He's an American, and so it was a whole vibe, and all the performers, from top to bottom, I think really did the damn thing. So, what do you think, Marcus?
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, I like I said, whole thing was fire. Historically speaking, it was great. Again, if if you don't like Bad Bunny, you don't be around the right kind of people. Bad Bunny has its own little trance to it. You either gonna be dancing to it, or if you speak the language, you're gonna be singing it. It's not like it's not like he's just singing about BS. I mean, fact check some of the lyrics. He be talking about stuff just like every other conscientious stuff that we've heard. So, you know, don't diminish what you can't understand.
Oh, and if you don't understand, new feature, at least new to me. The last time I went on a Bad Bunny purge or binge, I should say. Apple Music, if you use Apple Music, now has a translate feature that kind of goes along. If you open up the lyrics, it translates it in real time. So you can participate in the music, get what he's saying, but like Marcus said, there are messages there. What's his latest hit? Is it
DTMF? Or
yes.
yeah, DTMF.
So like,
yeah.
While the vibe and the music is amazing by itself, but the lyrics, there's more to than the surface there. So
Yeah.
I think that's again just the vibe overall. So I hate the argument and discourse that was going down around that, because it shows that people are not willing to go past surface level these days. And
no comprende, it's crazy.
I love the cultural aspect of it. I appreciate that he is true to it. again, Mom, go use the
Oh
Apple
man.
Music translate feature. You will appreciate it even more. Mom and her high school Spanish
Yes, 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 yes.
days.
Me encanta.
So
Yes,
that's
very
very
good.
much high school Spanish. But Mike, what do you think as a person of Hispanic descent? What do you think of the production and being able to understand it more than us?
It was wonderful. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I was salsa dancing the whole halftime show. Um, it represented Puerto Rico very well. It represented the Latino culture very well in the sense of we are very family oriented. We are always about having friends and family with us, always having a good time, always trying to just, be enjoy life together. Um, and it painted it and it did a really great job. He performed all his greatest hits. Lady Gaga was there and she sang that really famous song with Bruno Mars that it's leaving my brain. And it did it like in a salsa rendition. So it wasn't just that really like slow, like it was something that you can relate to in English and dance to it in a Spanish sense. Um, Also,
Yeah. Even
there was an
the Ricky Martin.
right. Pedro Pascal was there. Cardi B was down there. Jessica Alba was down there. Who else? But the fact that he had an actual wedding at the Super Bowl during his halftime show, I
Real wedding,
mean, real wedding, and
real nuptials.
They invited him, and he was like, "Oh no, no, just do it at the Super Bowl. It's cool." Like, imagine your favorite performer, and you're getting married at the Super Bowl. Like, come on, that is
Right. Life, like you
peak
would never
performance.
forget that, right? You'll tell
Never,
your kids about this, right?
right? And
Yeah, it was dope.
yeah, and for him to like give his Grammy to that little boy who was come to find out he was is 5 years old, was detained by ICE, and for him to give him that Grammy, it just shows that like even though you are Latino, you can overcome this and even and win your own Grammy or win your own award when you grow up. And then for like 2 seconds, I entertained that Turning Point USA. It was buns, ass. Holy cow, terrible. And then like I think I something came across where like what's his name? Kid Rock was like,
Kid
yeah,
Rock.
it's the fact that we have to do this so that people can understand. Are you kidding me? Shakira was just there not too long ago and she was singing in Spanish. And then Bad Bunny made an appearance in that Super Bowl halftime show too, not singing in English. So where do we draw the line? Where do we draw the
I
line?
mean, the at the end of the day, the United States is a multicultural place. I mean, there's so many cultures. That's what's made it what it is, despite people not wanting it to be that. And I think this is it's weird to discuss it in this way, but I think DJ had a really good point here. There's so many people mad at Bad Bunny. Amazingly, these idiots do not realize the NFL is a business, and they care about exposure. Having Bad Bunny makes it global. It's money over feelings. I think I've made this point before. It's the same way that America is short sighted around football slash soccer. Is that out in the world, it's what it is, right? All these countries love football, the non-American version, and it is so popular. Same thing with Bad Bunny. When you look at artists that are popular domestically in the United States, let's just take Morgan Wallen. I've seen a breakdown of his numbers and streams compared to Bad Bunny's. Bad Bunny crushes this dude. Morgan Wallen is like near the I forget where he stood in the rankings, but Bad Bunny's like top 5 streamers in the world versus people think Morgan Wallen's like this massive artist, but only in the United States. Very local. So again, just the reach is like DJ said. At the end of the day, the NFL wants exposure and as many eyes on its performance as possible. And the fact that we can get that level of art combined with the exposure, to me, it's a win for everybody. For us to be able to see that culture on TV, nobody loses. And so, if you tuned into the TP USA version for has been artist and some of those questionable lyrics from Kid Rock, you can go look up his history. But the pedophilia runs deep in those lyrics. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Spectacular Super Bowl performance.
Yeah.
Any other stuff before we hit the road, guys?
Oh, go ahead, Marcus.
I mean, I just want to talk about this NCAA draft class coming up for the basketball. There's like a lot of different routes this draft can go, whether you need forward play, guard play, or just like a strong wing scorer or something like that. It's just a lot. This is probably going to be our next generational draft class, and just hope it pans out to be as good as it can be. Yeah, other than that, I mean, go Cougs. Hopefully Kingston Flemings can,
Yes. Yes, yes,
keep
yes.
going. But yeah, I don't know, man. AJ DeBonsa is the real deal. Darren Peterson
Yeah,
is offensively probably the most proficient scorer in the college game that we speak of right now. I don't know about Boozer. I'm not really a fan of Boozer in general. Carlos Boozer, Baby Boozer, any of the Boozers. They can get booed for all I care. I don't know. Anyways, maybe Caleb Wilson. He's up there, but yeah, it's a lot of like really good talent coming out. Anyways,
And in other news,
thanks for that randomness, Marcus.
in other news, Neil Shipley with the first hole-in-one on TGL. Congratulations to Neil Shipley. That's it.
was it the first one?
Congrats.
Yeah, first ever hole-in-one.
Which squad is
yeah,
he on?
Justin Rose has an albatross. He's plays for the Bay.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
He
I'm gonna
plays for
have
the
to.
Bay with Minwoo Lee and Luke Clinton. They
Mm-hmm.
went off
I'm gonna
against LA.
I'm gonna commit myself to getting up and watching TGL next week. Oh, before we sign off, I don't want to short side them. Live Boys in Riyadh this past weekend. They played Under the Lights. I don't want to. We're a golf show. Elvis Smiley in his first event with Live gets his first win. Um, I watched it again because they played at the time that they played. It was a
You
low
could see
energy
it.
event. It was so low energy, bro. John
Was it
Rahm
any
looks like he
good?
is. It was dead. I mean, you had a couple of holes where people would gather around, but John Rahm looks so annoyed. Bryson DeChambeau looks disinterested in being there right now. Um, More than I thought a week ago. That man is gone after this year. As soon as that contract is up, do I know what the hell he's going to do after that? No.
Don't they
But
have like curfew
um,
out there and stuff? I feel like it would be empty for real.
True.
it was pretty sparsely attended. But they already announced that they will be back in Riyadh next year in 2027. They're going to move it to March though, probably because it's cold at night
Right.
right now. Um,
Hella dry.
yeah, yeah, bro. I like I said, it was in my time window, so I watched it. Not great. The vibes were definitely off. So, wanted to give Liv their flowers, but it was that league is over, bro. I'm
Yeah.
planning. I'm kind of scripting out a long form video talking about the evolution, the marketing, the target audience, and how they've missed on that since the beginning. So I'm gonna put that out at some point. But yeah, live is done, bro. The energy is just not
Yeah.
around that outfit. Did y'all catch any of
Okay.
it? Just curious.
Yeah, but I couldn't tell if it was live or not. Hey, man, Rod, I meant to tell you. Listen, w- I don't know how, but golf on Fox has really like popped up on my algorithm, and they are forcing me to watch it. I scroll and like disinterest like so many times, and it still pops
You're
up.
like,
Like I
no.
watch. Yeah, no, I watched it. Like it made me watch all of the replays for 2025 live, and then like I saw this.
Oh yeah.
It was crazy, bro. And so
Yeah.
like all it made me think of, because I like when they showed it, I saw a few clips of Elvis Smiley, but man, they showed John Rahm going crazy left on one shot. I saw Thomas Peter missed another putt, of course, because he can't putt.
What? No.
Um,
Oh no.
what?
Oh, I can't believe you missed another putt, man. That stinks.
Right, exactly. And then Thomas Dietrich flew a green by like 10 yards. Like
Oh.
Thomas Dietrich, like we said originally, Rod, I'm not sitting here like batting an eye that he left. Like I'm not like, oh my God, the imprint that he made on the league. Oh my God.
That's one of their
Yeah.
horsemen. That's one of their main guys. Not him
I
flying.
do want to give
Hey, big time recruits. Big time recruit.
Man.
I know, moving the needle. A random shout out. So, now that we're settled in Vietnam, we had to get just for like our memberships and different things, and needed a good day to plan. So Viatel, which is one of the carriers here, has this like TV add-on called TV 360. You get access to certain channels, right? Some national stuff, CNN, Vietnamese channels, etc. But there is a channel called On Golf, and so I watched the final round of the Waste Management Phoenix Open on this On Golf. I don't know where they're broadcasting from, but it was in English, and Rich Beam was like on the ground. So shout out to Rich Beam and old school Tiger Woods game. But it was actually really good coverage. Like I didn't know what to expect. It was my first time watching a tournament round, but very good coverage of the Waste Management Phoenix Open. So shout out to Viatel and TV 360. I have a new plug for watching golf now. It was generally pretty dope.
Yes.
And like when they're doing their kind of like Golf Central type stuff, it is in Vietnamese, so it's also helping out with my proficiency. But they cover like all this Asian tour golf and these little small local, not local tournaments, but like high level junior, like a AJGA type stuff. Super dope. It's been the most random find ever, but helping my golf addiction as well as helping learn some with more Vietnamese classes as well. So
you probably getting like recaps of like KPGA, JPGA type stuff like that, right?
Yeah, it was dope. I mean, it was really interesting. I'm like, I otherwise would not even know about, right? I feel like it's a miss kind of on the US side that, like when we see golf college tournaments in the US, like I love that just as much as I like pro golf. So seeing these other like highlights from like lower level golf, not just the big tour, I'm like, yeah, this helps the junkie in me. Would us discussing it on here matter? No, but it's cool just to have access to it. So it was cool.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Golf for the week. We got the Magical Kenya Open on the DP World Tour. Is that this week? Yep. No.
Yeah.
We got a break. Magical Kenya Opens in 2 weeks. We have the Pebble Beach.
Damn.
Yeah, same week as the return for the ladies. Probably,
Let's see. Champions Tour. Because the Chubb Classic's their next one. Schedule. Yeah, we get the Chubb this weekend too.
Pause.
In Florida.
Major pause on that. Major pause on that.
I didn't say you. I didn't say you gave me a Chubb.
Gang.
Oh Lord.
We
Strong.
get the
man,
Chubb this week is
this
crazy.
is
Major
this is
pause.
going left. This is going so left. And then the elevated event. So hopefully Scotty's back in the mix. Rory, defending champion. So looking forward to that. As you know, we'll be back at it again. And in the Super Bowl really means the NBA season starts to take off. It's just,
Baseball.
yeah, baseball's coming. So I saw something about spring training coming
Mhm.
up. So yeah, good part of the year. I love the division of Super Bowl ending, and then let's get into this spring and summer sports. So Bearder Bros Golf Show. We'll be back at it again. Maybe Mike will send in his Memoji and we can add
I
him to the
will.
graphic.
I will. That'll be my
Um,
mission for
You
this week.
said that 3 weeks in a
that's your
row.
that's your
Shut.
that's your that's your homework. I
Yes.
am Rod.
I'm Marcus.
And as the corniest of the group, I'm Michael.
Appreciate y'all. Thanks everybody for joining and checking in with us. Later.